Well, that's the type of post-nut clarity that'll make you start rethinking your life and thinking if you need to go to therapy.
Yeah.
Like what in my
Answer's
childhood?
probably yes.
What in my childhood made me want to jack off to this Asian lady eating a live squid?
And there's answers to be found probably, but that's like
just be like, oh well, I'm gonna do it because I'm bored,
or you're bored, or it's almost bedtime,
or it's lunchtime before you eat a sandwich
for breakfast,
and before breakfast, after breakfast,
pre-brunch,
after you take a shit,
a before dinner spinner,
a nightcap.
A midnight snack whack.
Oh my God, how many of these do you have? And welcome back.
Welcome back. It is the shittiest podcast on the internet. I am Lonnie.
And I'm Alex.
And we are with you guys today with a nice little laid back solo dolo episode. No special guests this week. No special episode.
Just us.
Just your boys hanging out
just
once again, back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Recapture some of our first couple episodes of Magic.
Yeah.
What is that called? Low vibe, low chill vibe. You ever seen those things where
it's
like
lo-fi?
Lo-fi.
Like when you're studying or something.
And you want that lo-fi music?
Just the beats playing on.
Yeah,
I don't know if anybody I don't know if we could be considered as relaxing as the lo-fi beats.
No, definitely not. We don't. Do you think we have the voices for it? Give me your best impression of like if you were on a radio and you had to be like
a smooth talker, or like if I was like one of those girls on porn that instructs guys when they jerk off.
ASMR.
Yeah.
Yeah. So So meet somewhere in the middle and give me your best ASMR or lo-fi radio talk show host voice.
Hello and good evening. I am your host. I try to think of a cool name.
God damn it.
I know.
Big Daddy Chill.
Big Daddy Chill. Mm-hmm. And today I have a very special guest. See, it's fucking hard. It's hard because you try to come up with a good one.
Or should I just be a normal person? Like, wait,
why are you talking like
that? And then you'll be like, okay, yeah. And then you'll be like, you're like, what do you mean? I always talk like this. I'm like, dude,
this is my natural voice.
Dude, you didn't talk like that like 5 minutes ago before we started this.
Okay. Don't worry about it. Okay. Now you're doing it.
Is that what the people want?
I don't know, because that's the
ASMR.
I don't know. It's it is relaxing, right?
Right.
In a sense, but some ASMR people, they do like the
kick that up a gear.
They'll either they'll scratch the mic, or they do that kind of thing. I feel like there's a good part of ASMR, but there's also like the bad part, like when it gets a little too intrusive, I guess.
Like, wait, are we still talking about the ones that do porn?
Not even those ones, dude. Just like regular ASMR people that you can see on on YouTube and on TikTok.
Wait, how do they get intrusive?
They just feel like, I don't know, like some of the noises that they can make sometimes feel a little, cringy in a way. Now obviously there's good ones, but there's also like bad ones, like the ones that, are purposefully making annoying noises,
You know what I never understood? Well, first of all, I don't fucking like ASMR in general, but you know what
I can understand why people find it relaxing, but it's not my cup of tea neither.
No. But you know what I never understood was the ones who do like the Asian people who do like the eating.
The mukbangs?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, but like
who the fuck?
What kind of mukbang though? Cuz some mukbangs are good and some are bad.
Are you telling me you watch them?
I don't watch them. I don't go out of my way and watch them, but
like
I've watched them from time to time.
If it pops up on your feed, you're watching it.
If someone's eating 15 Big Macs, I'm going to look at it. You know what I mean? I'll click on the video.
If someone eats 15 Big Macs, I'm watching it for the spectacle of eating 15 Big Macs.
If the one you're going off of, like they're mukbanging, they're fresh caught squid,
Yeah, and then they eat it. It's like, why do I want to hear you and see you eat a live squid? It's disgusting.
Yeah, those are the ones that I don't watch. I'll watch like the food challenge. I'll watch the more food challengey ones rather than
Like that's an actual mukbang. Like I'm talking about the ASMR, like Asian people who are like eating live squid. Like what the who watches this and sits there and watches?
Lots of
this
people
shit?
watch that. They love it.
I think it's because they have a kink for it though, right?
That's very plausible.
Like
I mean,
they jack
some
off
people,
to it.
That's just their thing. Then
They jack off.
You can't kink shame.
I'm not kink shaming. I'm just
You
saying.
just did though.
Okay, I did. That's the
and
weird.
you apologize.
No, that's weird, dude. There's some
like
kinks that are fucking weird.
Because I don't really like the noise of people eating or chewing obnoxiously.
I don't either.
Like
chewing with their mouth open.
Like I'll watch a mukbang, but I don't want to watch an obnoxious mukbang of someone talking with their mouth full and all that bullshit. Yeah, eat your food, swallow your food, and then talk about a little something.
Right.
But don't be a fucking obnoxious, disgusting, person with it. So like that's the problem where I start to have with it, and then yeah, it could just, and that's what I mean by intrusive, I guess. Like some of them are just like more disgusting than others, and sometimes they do it on purpose, and other times it's accidental. They don't even realize they're being like cringy. Like they'll go wash, and then when you actually see them doing it live, and you're like, Jesus Christ, what is wrong with you,
dude?
And then, but that's the thing, people listen. People listen. They like it.
You know what'll be a good transition to this? Those same people who I'm kink shaming about watching fucking Asian girls swallow live squid, they probably have the worst post-nut clarity. This is exactly what we were talking about before the start of this podcast.
Well, I wouldn't jerk to that.
But the people who do probably are done in like, what?
And they're like,
fuck did I just do?
The squid didn't deserve that.
The squid didn't deserve that, and why am I watching your fucking? And why am I why do I like it?
Yeah, right.
Why do I like this?
And that's the and as we were talking about earlier, pre-pod, that's the kind of post-nut clarity that's like that hits you big time.
Well, that's the type of post-nut clarity that'll make you start rethinking your life and thinking if you need to go to therapy.
Yeah.
Like what in my
Answer's
childhood?
Probably yes.
What in my childhood made me want to jack off to this Asian lady eating a live squid?
And there's answers to be found probably, but that's like for you to come to terms with.
There are answers to be found, dude.
If you're out there, you're probably not alone. There's probably a lot more people like you.
You might be alone, dude, but I know you're out there. I know you're out there.
We also know you're a dude. We also know you're a dude.
I also know that you are a male. Okay. Also, dude, we need a. Do you think? Well, okay, actually, you want to know something crazy? I haven't watched porn in
Still.
You remember last time I was
I remember
did we
last
talk about it
time
on here?
No, but you told me about it
How long
like
ago was that?
in a car ride or something.
Like 3 months?
A bit. 2-3 months.
I haven't watched it in like 3 months, dude.
Cannot relate.
But
that's really impressive though. That's good for you, man.
And you know what it really does do is like it and you can say it's like everyone says it, and it might be a little drawn out or drown out, but like it really does kind of it makes me more testosterone-y. Like when I go to the gym, like I can like
you can pump more.
Yeah.
So not well.
And when I'm actually having sex.
I was gonna say it's not like you haven't been coming, right?
Well, I haven't in 2-3 weeks. But the crazy thing is like I what's it called? Like when I before that, when I would do it, it was a lot more engaging.
Mm-hmm.
I was a lot more engaged in it than I was before, prior to that. So it's very interesting. Like everyone always says like porn's bad, and you're like whatever. But like when you actually like apply it to your life, and then you kind of see like the results, it kind of is like damn, like because it's.
And what are some of the positive benefits that you found besides the in the gym? What are some of the other?
Besides in the gym, obviously.
Have you had more like mental clarity? Have you had less like, I don't know if you've ever, I don't know if you have depression or anything or anxiety like that. Has it led to less depressive episodes, or have you felt less anxious? What exactly is it doing for you health-wise?
You know what I will say about it is, and we also talked about this, like post-nut clarity after you jack off is like, for any dude who's watching probably understands, like after you, sometimes, especially for me, after I would do it to porn, I would come and I'd be like, why did I watch that? Or like, why was, like, I would almost feel like in a sense, kind of like ashamed that I did that, even though like when you're in tune with yourself and whatever, you really shouldn't. But in a way, I was like, this is like, it's kind of weird that I'm watching other people do it and I'm jacking off on a screen, and like the instant gratification also. So like the fact that sometimes I would do it and I wouldn't even want to, but I would just be like, oh well, I'm gonna do it because I'm bored,
or you're bored, or it's almost bedtime,
or it's lunchtime before you eat a sandwich
for breakfast,
and before breakfast, after breakfast,
pre-brunch,
after you take a shit,
a before dinner spinner,
a nightcap,
a midnight snack whack.
Oh my God! How many of these do you have? Hold on. Let me
I got it. It's from a movie. It's from a movie.
Midnight snack whack.
Yeah, I'll show you the movie.
Oh,
Shout out Nick Swardson, Bucky Larson.
Dude.
Bucky Larson, Born to Be a Star. It's a phenomenal movie.
Nick Swardson's so good.
He's a funny guy.
So fucking good. You ever seen the bit of him talking about the ice cream? The first person who invented ice cream? I think I showed you this.
You might have, but I don't think I remember.
We'll watch it right now for the fucking pod.
We will. And I'll ask another question about post-nut. I'll ask you, do you think post-nut clarity hits you harder after sex or after masturbation? Or do you think it all depends on what you watched or who you had sex with?
For me, it hit post-nut clarity for me hits harder. The situation depends, because I'm gonna be honest. I've been in a couple situations where I'm like, why did I just have sex with this girl that I don't like? And that's a big one.
Yeah.
Like, even if she's not, because I don't necessarily think I've ever had, just did it with like a random person that I don't find attractive.
So it's not about. So it's not like you've ever. It's not like you necessarily dislike these people, but you don't necessarily like them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I've, been on my fair share of the end of like, one night stands or whatever.
And
the case may
hookups
be.
and whatnot.
Yeah. And it's like, that kind of hits me harder than like, I would say even just jacking off, because like after I do that with someone I don't know, because, and the more I get older, and I feel like this is natural, the more you mature, it becomes more of a thing of like, when you just hook up with someone that you don't know, it's kind of like, there's multiple factors, right? First, obviously, you don't know this person. You don't know where they've been, and that's a health risk, even if you wear a condom, right? It can be a health risk, and it can also be a risk of, it's a very intimate thing. And then when you don't like the person, it's not as good, but it's also not as fulfilling. Like, after you're done, you're just kind of like sitting there, and you're like, well, I'm gonna leave now,
Yeah, like sometimes those like meetups and those hookups and those one night stands, sometimes it really is just like a pump and dump.
It's done. Yeah.
You just do your business and you leave.
And there's nothing.
There's no cuddling. There's no. It's not making love. It's sex.
Yeah.
And that's a difference, I believe.
100%, you're right, because there have been instances where I have had sex with a woman, and then like when you actually like her, she'll go and make me a sandwich because that's where she belongs. Or
she'll like lick your balls. Or she'll lick your balls.
No.
Yeah, that's the best.
That was a joke.
She likes you if she licks your balls.
That was a joke, by the way. But no, but seriously, like, there's nothing more beautiful than like doing it, and then you actually like the girl. You have meaningful conversation after, and you're really engaging in like a higher, elevated state of mind, as opposed to just having sex and then being like, all right, well, I don't really like you, so I'm gonna leave now.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not an asshole. Like,
Or vice versa, you just kick them out. Have you ever had to do that? Have you ever had to just straight up kick a lady out
you know what I have a hard time with?
after you finish?
This is why I kind of stopped doing that too, because back when I, before I was in my previous relationship, which was a while.
Because it's hard to get rid of them, huh?
Well, yeah, it is. But also, it kind of sucks because like I'm not the type of guy. I'm not a mean guy.
Yeah, I don't think you are.
It's hard because when they would do it, like I did just kind of want to be the mean guy and be like, listen, like I don't really like you like that. Like
my girl's gonna be here in like 20 minutes.
No, my girl's gonna be here in like 20 minutes.
You gotta go.
But no, it would seriously be like I'm not the bad. I'm not a mean guy, so I'd like sit there and like entertain it a little bit, even though I was like dreading like in my mind.
Even though you just like want them to get out of there.
I was just like, please, just leave, and then you just have to wait for like the right moment. So like whenever like I'll like put like after like the show's done, the episode ends, I'm like, all right, you ready to go? Like wait for like a good cutoff point,
Yeah, because if you do a pre or middle of the episode, that's really rude.
That's fucked. And like right after I come, and then in the middle of the episode, it's like, oh, so
it's like what? It's like it depends on the show, I guess.
Yeah.
If it's Game of Thrones, we're finishing the episode.
No, but I have basically kicked some people out. Like, yo,
you got to do what you
I
got to
gotta wake up early tomorrow. I can't.
Don't we all?
Okay, this is the episode of Nick Swardson talking about the first guy who made ice cream. It's so fucking funny. Hold on.
Pretty sure McDonald's is gonna. No one's ever been close to response. No, it's never. Yeah, the word whiskey in Gaelic. Thanks. A lot of chick friends are like, Dacre. That cool drinking them.
McDonald's has like a peanut butter McFlurry.
They just came out with it?
Mm-hmm. Peanut butter like crunch.
Dude, they come out with all these fucking trendy ass McFlurries.
I mean, I'm a peanut butter guy. I love peanut butter, so I'm all for it.
Alright, because those drinks that you drink them like really fast, like taste good, so you're just like, ah.
Okay, so this is actually Nick Swardson. I'll put this up on screen as well. We'll just do a little, reaction of this 2-minute clip. But basically, Nick Swardson, this is his impression of like the first person who created ice cream and experienced brain freeze.
No, I don't want a brain freeze. It's the most painful thing on the face of the earth. And I always think, like, who was the first guy to experience that? Like a brain freeze? Imagine how horrible that would be if that happened to you and you didn't know what was happening. And that happened. That would be awful. So here's my impression of the first guy to experience that, okay? First guy to experience a brain freeze. I'm gonna say it's a guy who invented ice cream. Why not? And I'm gonna make him British, because that's fun for me to do in my sketch. So it's my impression of the first guy, okay, trying ice cream for the first time, experience a brain freeze. He's like, all right, everyone, I just created this delicious treat. It's frozen. It's called ice cream. I'm trying it for the first time right now. Here we go. It's amazing. Oh my God! It's the best thing I've ever had. I'm gonna eat it as fast as I can. I'm gonna eat it fast. I'm just gonna eat it. So good. Oh my gosh, it's delicious. Oh my fucking God! Oh my God! Somebody kill me! Kill me! Hit me with a brick! Oh my God! Tell my family I love them! What have I done? I'm okay.
Literally. Like 15 seconds, it sucks ass.
Dude, it's literally like, that's so accurate because that is so true. It's like brain freeze gets you when you like, and I always get it when I love like smoothies. So like when I get a good smoothie, I like drink it. And
really
you don't
fast.
think about it because like all the other shit we drink, doesn't give us brain freeze.
Yeah.
So I'd start drinking it really fast and I'm like, and yeah, it literally sucks for like 15
You know how
seconds.
they may, like, the one thing, I'm going to sound stupid, but I didn't realize that smoothies were thick because of the ice. I didn't realize that's how they put, That's how that's why your smoothies are cold. And
What do you think they put in there?
I didn't know it was ice. I just thought it was just all cold ingredients blended together.
That's interesting.
Dumb, right? I mean, not 6 months ago, I wasn't like, man, I just wonder how they're making these smoothies so cold. It wasn't a fucking recent discovery I
It was
made.
like when you were 14.
Yeah, I was like, oh, ice cubes.
No, that's always an interesting topic. Like the first person to invent shit, like they probably had to go through so much testing.
Depends on what they invented. Like they had to experience, like whatever they were inventing is what their experiences line up with. So like the Wright brothers, the guys who made planes, probably broke a couple bones. Jumping
Probably
off
snapped a
buildings
couple
and
their
stuff.
legs.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
You would imagine.
Broke their ankles. But back then, how the fuck did you fix a broken leg?
A cast, or like
That was
a
fucking cast?
they would straighten your leg out with like a wooden stick, wouldn't they?
And it would just heal. It'd probably heal so fucked up.
Yeah, but
walk
they didn't know how to
fucking
they didn't
leg.
know how to cast back then, but they knew how to fucking keep your leg straight, so they would just keep your leg
God
straight for
damn.
6 weeks or whatever. And then
Fucking 6 months
then
probably.
your bone just comes together like mangled or whatever,
all
but
fucked up.
I mean,
Your
hey,
foot's
you
sideways.
can kind of walk again, sir.
Your foot sideways. I mean, it's better than fucking not
It's better
walking.
than not having a leg, right?
No, I also wanted to I think we were talking about before the pod we were talking about dreams too. And
Dreams
how-
and your inner subconsciousness.
Yeah, consciousness in general. What is the definition
it's
of consciousness? Let's look that up.
You should look that up because that's
What
a
do
very
you
good
What do you
question.
think it is? Because I'm
I
gonna give you
think-
my definition.
Let's hear your definition first. Let's look up the word.
Consciousness, in my personal definition, consciousness is like how you would perceive reality,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
How your mind perceives reality as your consciousness.
Well,
Because if I wasn't conscious, I wouldn't be able to understand like.
yeah, but if
Right.
if you were crazy, your reality would be fucked up. So I wouldn't consider.
But doesn't that start with your conscious?
Well, I wouldn't consider. I wouldn't put reality in the definition of consciousness.
How do you spell consciousness?
CONSC.
Conscious, aware and responding of one's surroundings, awake. Okay, so consciousness is different.
Conscience.
Conscience meaning, right?
Yeah.
An inner feeling or voice viewed as acting as a guide to the righteous or wrongness of one's behavior. He had a guilty conscience about his desires. Let's look up consciousness.
So conscious is like, if you're awake, or unconscious if you're fucking asleep or whatnot. Conscience is your inner mind. And conscience, I
I
think,
feel like consciousness is what we were specifically speaking of. How do you spell that? Consciousness? Conscious. Consciousness, right? The state of being awake and aware of one's surroundings, the awareness or perception of something by a person, the fact of awareness by the mind of itself in the world.
well, that's probably the best definition is that last one right
The
there.
fact of
for
awareness
consciousness.
by the mind of itself in the world.
But that's also that's a deep definition.
That's a deep definition. You know what I was talking to with one of my coworkers recently? Is we had a very deep conversation about how, how basically people say that energy cannot be destroyed. And again, we're not scientists, but basically how energy cannot be destroyed. And that's kind of like how the Big Bang came to be, is like energy came about and exploded and it created the Big Bang, and that's how the universe is ever expanding, because that energy cannot be destroyed and it's ever expanding.
Okay.
I actually believe, I'm starting to believe more, in the fact of, with that being true, the fact of the Big Bang and whatnot, and the fact that energy cannot be destroyed, is when we die, obviously our memories don't transition because our consciousness dies with our brain, because our consciousness, which is the fact of awareness by the mind of itself in the world, is inside of our brain as opposed to our energy, is what you would say, right?
So when we die, our energy, our conscious,
Is
our
separated.
soul,
Is all different.
it's
So
all
like
gone.
our energy, no. Our energy cannot be destroyed when we die. So our mind, our consciousness is a part of our mind, which is a part of the body, which is all interconnected. When we die, the consciousness goes away. Memories are just fleeting, and your brain dies and your mind or your body dies. But the energy, your energy, which again I don't necessarily know what the energy is.
Well, we are carbon-based life forms, and carbon is the building block. You know, that element is the building blocks for life as we know it.
So is it carbon energy?
I wouldn't consider. I would consider. I mean, I wouldn't consider carbon energy, but I would consider the fact that we are carbon-based life forms at our simplest. You know, I would say that, like not because you say our energy dissipates or disperses somewhere. Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm starting to more believe that when you die, your
You just
mind is
become
left
one-
on Earth,
you
but
just-
your energy is something that is going to leave your body and is going to become or get put into a different organism, almost like a reincarnation. But the fact of reincarnation is, some people believe, you get reincarnated, but the thing is you don't necessarily, you will never have, like if you get reincarnated into anything, you're not going to have past memories because it's impossible, because when you die, your brain dies, and the brain is what holds your memories and your consciousness, which is your perception of reality, in my opinion.
Okay, so then what's the energy?
That's what I'm saying.
Well, because that's the big dilemma you have here, because you could take a person like Hitler.
Mm-hmm.
Would they be?
Well,
would their energy be reborn? Would their energy go to another organism?
yeah.
Okay, and if it's another human, does that human end up doing another thing that Hitler did? You know what I mean? It's like, because obviously Hitler had experiences, and which created the memories and his feelings, and that's what made him do what he did. Like, Hitler just wasn't born, he didn't just come out of the vagina saying, "I hate the Jews." He didn't do that. He was, that was just the way his experiences told him he should behave and how he should react to the world.
Well, yeah, exactly. But that's what I'm saying is, for example.
Well, like, so when someone dies and they lose all of their consciousness and everything like that, what's the point of rebirth then? Because
it's not. But no,
because
I'm not
what
saying.
is your energy then? You know what I mean?
So I just looked up, does your energy ever die? And this is again, this is just from futurism.com, the physics of death. It says, as we know through
thermodynamics,
energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It simply changes states. The total amount of energy is an isolated system. Cannot change.
Okay, so here's what I'm trying to ask you then.
And then, okay, but
are you
let
talking
me go
about
one more thing before you go, because I just read this. It says, how does energy keep you alive? And it says, inside every cell of all living things, energy is needed to carry out life processes. Energy is required to break down and build up molecules and to transport many molecules across plasma membranes. All of life's works needs energy. A lot of energy is also simply lost to the environment as heat. I don't know what that last part means, but like, for example, the Big Bang was just energy. I think it was like dark energy or something that was like manifested and came together, and then it imploded. But it didn't get destroyed. Don't quote me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's why the universe is ever expanding, because the Big Bang just keeps expanding.
My question for you is, it's like I know that.
Okay.
Well, I didn't know that energy can never be created or destroyed. That's a nice thing to figure out and find out. However, like when we die, like I said, we're carbon-based life forms. So
Yes.
when we die, you know, depending
Carbon
on
bases. I'm pretty sure that's going to. We're just gonna. The carbon is just gonna get. Is our body, which is going to get.
it also depends on how you die.
Well, it. Not
if you
for
get
the energy
if
in our
you
body.
get buried, if you get buried,
you're gonna become mulch.
right? So your energy stays.
No.
Yes.
No. So this is what I'm saying. I feel like this is different. So what I'm saying is essentially like
Well, that's what I'm trying to get to the bottom of. Are you talking about energy as in, like, you know,
maybe you're right.
energy in its purest sense, as in like,
your
or
your
as
soul.
in its base sense, like, well, yeah, purest sense meaning soul, or base sense as in like calories meaning energy and all that bullshit. Because you need to distinguish now between.
I'm talking about.
You need to distinguish right now between if you mean energy as in like your purest form of soul or whatever, or if you mean energy as in just.
So what is human energy called? Bioelectrical energy, science of human energy fields. This is a body electrical energy, and then what is this? Why can't energy be destroyed from one form to another form of energy? So so this is the law of conservation of energy states that energy can neither be created nor destroyed, only converted from one form of energy to another. So this is what I'm saying. So like what they're saying about, I know what you're saying as far as like energy, as far as like our body. I feel as if this energy can be essentially like our energy when we die. And you're right though, like if we're buried, our energy gets dispersed maybe into the earth, but then that energy will eventually become another organism. It says bioelectricity is the electrical currents and electrical potentials generated by or occurring within living cells, tissue, and organisms. For example, neurons conduct signals by using electrical fields. And this is the type of energy that cannot be destroyed, that is essentially our purest form of our being, is what I see it as. Like our purest form of like.
Okay, so you see this.
But this is different from our consciousness. So you think our
brain. So, okay then. So our soul, consciousness, brain, that's all wrapped up in one, and energy's wrapped up in another, you mean?
Yeah. So like
our
body,
soul and our energy are two different things.
Yeah. And I feel like the soul, and maybe I'll have to research more into this and like really understand it, but like from my understanding, like the energy, our energy that is in with us kind of, maybe like you said, like when you get buried, that energy will kind of pass on into other creatures and become other things, or, which I think is more plausible, what you just said about the way you die. Maybe if you're buried, that energy, that your body's going to die, and that energy when you die is
dissipates in through the earth,
and
into the way is
but
life,
also
and the way life is.
You start getting into things like
your atoms never die. Do you mean atoms as well as energy? Because every dead
atoms don't die.
Atoms, energy. Every dead person, like their atoms are still on the earth.
Atoms are just what are like our lowest.
Well, like you said,
our smallest form of being.
Well, like you said, it just turns into different states of matter.
Yeah.
So when someone decomposes,
well, is energy necessarily matter? Because isn't matter like solid, liquid,
and gas?
But energy is not any of those things, is it?
Yeah, but energy is in all of those things.
It's what makes all those things happen.
That's what you're getting at. Yeah.
Yes.
We're making progress.
We're making the progress. But also, because I was the reason we started talking about this, I don't know if any of you guys have seen the movie.
Post Nut Clarity.
It was Post Nut Clarity. No, but it was because I went and seen this movie. called Talk to Me.
Oh, that scary one.
Yeah, and it was really good. By the way, it's
I
really
wanted to.
fucking good.
I've been wanting to see that. You saw
Really
that
fucking
after or pre or post Oppenheimer?
After Oppenheimer.
Post.
Yeah.
Post-timer.
Post-timer.
Did we talk about seeing Oppenheimer?
I don't think we did.
We saw Oppenheimer. It was phenomenal.
Such a fucking good film,
we highly
dude.
recommend you see it if you haven't. Phenomenal soundtrack as well. Phenomenal cast. Everything good you can say about the movie, you can say about Oppenheimer. Great film. But
100%.
Talk to me then.
So
Talk to me about Talk to me.
Talk to me about Talk to Me. No. So essentially, the movie's about like paranormal activities, like ghosts.
Ghosts and ghouls and goblins.
Yeah. And so we like that's kind of how me and my coworker kind of brought up the fact of like
Okay. And that's
energy.
where I gotta get. That's where I get into this again, dude.
Yep.
What the fuck are you talking about? Because you're saying, I feel like you're confusing energy and spirit, or energy and like soul.
Do you think energy? So energy, energy and your soul.
Okay, so
you think are two different things.
So for Talk to Me, how would you describe the antagonist of that movie? Is it a spirit? Is it an entity? Is it energy?
I'm not saying.
Is it a demon?
I'm not saying that the paranormal activity. I'm not saying that the way that they portrayed it is the way that I think it happens. I'm giving you an example of how I got into the conversation.
Okay, so do you think it's real then? Is that kind of thing? Maybe not into the extent of the way Talk to Me portrays it, but do you think like people get sheets pulled off of them, or doors close when they're not supposed to, or things turn on when they're not supposed to?
My coworker.
Or do you think that can all be explained naturally?
My coworker had a viewpoint, not necessarily that he believes in this, but a viewpoint of what if when we die, our energy or our soul doesn't necessarily become other things, but what if it just wanders endlessly because it cannot be destroyed? And then I kind of gave the opinion of, well, I think that we get absorbed into other things that need the energy, like organisms being born, not necessarily humans, but what if we become organisms, smaller organisms, and then because we become smaller organisms, every single organism essentially is in a chain. So like the smallest organism is gonna, like plankton, is gonna get eaten by whales.
It's a big jump.
Well, yeah, but that's what they eat, plankton, right? Whales.
Yeah, but what eats whales?
Sharks.
Okay.
And then humans then sharks eat fish. Humans eat specific sharks, even though you aren't allowed to, but they do. Anyways, like any type of thing that your energy needs, it'll become, and then eventually maybe you get eaten by a human. And then inevitably your energy goes from that human vessel, maybe it's a woman, into a child because she's pregnant. So your energy can never being destroyed essentially means that we are, when we die, one with everything on this planet.
Well, that's what I was getting at. Like, when you die, you do become one with the planet because, there's no...
But
it's not like we're
shipping with everything.
It's not like we're shipping dead bodies off into space, you know what I mean? Like, everybody that's ever died on Earth still is on the Earth. Whether they're a bone or whether they've been fucking... gone so long that they've whittled down into literal bone dust that blows throughout the wind for the rest of eternity.
This is
you know what I mean?
Yeah, this is actually a question. What is the difference between the energy we're talking about and what people would consider a soul? Like, I mean, a ghost. Is a ghost like your soul?
I think if we're talking about ghosts are like spirits, and like that kind of shit has a soul. Whether it's an evil soul or a good, pure soul, because, sometimes it's like, lots of stuff, like, I think about is, like, through movies, like, the scope of, like, film, so I don't know how realistic, half of these movies can be, but, like, when you think of an evil spirit or a good spirit, right, a good spirit usually belongs to a fucking person that was a good person while they were alive, and they died in some horrible way that they didn't deserve, and now they, like, are a good spirit that tries to protect them from the bad spirits. The bad spirits usually being the evil person that possibly killed them, or being an evil demon, or from fucking hell, like, somebody like King Payman, or, Satan, or fucking any of those devil demons. Like, I don't know. It's like sometimes, it's like, it's hard because, I think ghosts have souls.
Okay.
But I wouldn't say all spirits have souls, right? Because I don't think all spirits are from this realm. Like, I don't know if all humans came from, or all spirits come from humans, because there could be, like, otherworldly spirits around, because I don't know what's out there. There could be, like, there really could be, like, the devil spirits, like Payman from Hereditary or something like that. Or like Pinhead, those Cenobite fellas, I think they're from hell as well.
Okay, so I just looked up what's the definition of someone's soul. It says soul, noun, spirit. The spiritual part of a person that some people believe continues to exist in some form after their body has died, or the part of a person that is not physical and experiences deep feelings and emotions. She suffered great... Wait.
That's like an example.
Okay, so she suffered greatly while she was alive, so let us hope her soul is now at peace.
I don't think it works like that either. If she suffered greatly while she was alive, how likely is it for her to be a vengeful spirit?
Yeah, like if she's Karen while she's alive.
If she's a fucking cunt, But that's the thing. What about the people that aren't cunts that have shitty lives? Do they turn into vengeful ghosts as well? Because they're like, oh, well, I had a shitty life, so I might as well ruin other people's lives.
Well, but this is what it's saying.
Or do they become good
this
ghosts?
This is what it's saying. So it says the spiritual part of a person...
Soul, a.k.a. spirit.
Yeah, and it's saying that it gives the example, or the definition, the spirit part of a person is something that people believe to exist in some form after their body has died. And then it says... or the part of a person that is not physical and experiences deep feelings and emotions. Oh, wait. It's
the part
saying,
of a person that is not physical.
Is it saying the part of a person that is not physical?
Like their consciousness?
And it's the part that
or
doesn't feel deep emotions and feelings? Or is it saying it is the part that experiences deep feelings and emotions?
It's a part of a person that's not physical, so not your brain, maybe what your brain creates, but
and it's saying
nothing
and
physical.
Experiences deep feelings and emotion. Okay, so it's saying it's not physical and it's not a part of the part
it's
of the
not
brain.
Physical, but it experiences deep feelings and emotions.
No. And is building upon it. It's not saying but, it's saying and, which is building upon what they just said in the physical. Or the part of a person that is not physical.
Read the whole fucking thing, Alex.
Okay, we have to put this up on screen.
The spiritual part of a person that some people believe continues to exist in some form after their body has died.
Or the part of a person that is not physical and, which is a building word, it's not a but, and experiences deep feelings and emotions. So it's saying it's the soul is none of these things.
Your soul is not deep feelings or emotions.
Right.
Your soul feels deep feelings and emotions.
No, right? That's saying no.
Once again, I'm dealing with people that just don't understand the words coming out of mine or their own mouths.
What the fuck?
The spiritual part of a person, so your soul or your spirit is non-physical.
Yes.
So it's not your fucking cock, and it's not your brain, it's not your nose.
But if it's not our brain, then how the fuck does it feel feelings and emotions? Because your brain feels feelings and emotions.
Yeah, but that's your spirit. It's your soul. It's your soul.
Now you're trying to get out of it. You're trying to get out of it. Okay. This word is a building block. Let's look up the definition of and.
This was your whole fucking
Let's look up the definition of and.
Figuring out what the soul and the brain is.
The definition of and.
The definition of and? Why?
Because you don't... Okay, used to connect words of the same part of speech, clauses or sentences that are to be taken jointly. So it says...
I'm not arguing that, you fuck! I'm not arguing that!
It says, or the part of a person's that is not physical and jointly experiences deep feelings and emotions.
So your conscience, Your brain produces the conscience. Your brain isn't your conscience.
Is this not the most confusing sentence you've ever read?
Well, it's up there, but you're fucking making it worse, dumbass. You're making it worse. The spiritual part, so non-physical.
Right.
Your brain creates your conscience.
How the
does
fuck
it
does
not?
the soul experience emotions and feelings? How?
Has something ever hurt your feelings real bad? That's how. You fucking dumbass. I don't understand what you're arguing here.
Oh my god.
Because obviously,
Okay, hold on. Can a soul experience emotions?
your soul is you, you fucking dope.
But I'm confused on what the fuck a soul is, dude.
Your soul is your conscience and your
No, it's not the conscience, god damn it. The conscience dies when you die.
your consciousness. Your consciousness dies. Your conscience and your soul, I think, are in tandem with one another.
God. Are they? Your consciousness and your soul?
Your conscience and your soul
Your
are I think they're intertwinable, right? I think you can use soul and conscience in the same vein.
Soul and conscience.
Because your soul is the purest form of you. So if you're a good person, you have a pure soul and a pure good conscience, correct?
Okay. That makes
Just
sense
like
to
if
me.
you're a bad person with a bad conscience, you probably have a bad soul. Conscience and soul, I think, are interchangeable,
I think
or at
you're-
least
no.
intertwinable.
Consciousness is our perception of reality when we're on Earth, but you're saying conscience
Conscience is your mind.
is your
Your mind, your
is your-
soul, all of it.
because you can say I had a guilty conscience, which means that like you said, like good or bad. And
Like
consciousness is
like
the fact that
you
we're
know
awake
a good
and we know
person
perception of reality.
you know a good person wouldn't have done the thing that you're guilty about, which is why you have a guilty conscience.
Yeah.
A
Yeah,
good
yeah.
soul is just that. It's a good conscience. A good soul is a good conscience, and it doesn't. You know what I mean? I feel like they're intertwinable, interchangeable, synonymous. A fourth word.
God damn. Now we have to look.
Those are all synonyms for that, by the way. But I think they're all intraversible.
So do you think that's so energy?
So
Energy-
you're non-physical.
Energy in the fact of. So soul is not scientific then. Our soul is just basically like, oh, it's
My feelings.
Our feelings,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're-
But the energy that we
Soul
were
is-
speaking of,
You might have to cut this out, but I'm just gonna say, soul is gay, dude.
soul is gay, dude.
Soul is gay.
It's gay, dude.
But
I like my feelings.
I like my soul.
my
It's
soul,
amazing
my
and it's
soul
happy.
is what makes me. a
And
good
I love my
person.
soul, and my soul loves me.
And I just want to be a really happy soul and just go around and
Fucking all other soul cocks
I
and
just all the soul's dicks just to make everyone's
in
soul
my mouth.
happy.
I want to make them I want to be solely responsible for their soul cum.
No, but actually, so that's not scientific. The soul is not scientific.
Soul is not scientific.
But
Soul, you might have to
energy-
cut that, but
The energy is.
energy
we
is
don't,
scientific.
We don't cut shit around here, dude.
Energy is scientific.
Except two things in our history, and you'll never see them.
Energy is scientific because energy is like calories and
Well,
you know,
no. Well, yes, but also
and,
energy.
you know, your neurons firing
the
off.
electrical. What we just looked up. The electrical.
Our
What
brains
is it
are
called?
always producing, like this is producing energy. My brain's giving my body energy to do this right now.
Bioelectrical energy, though, is when you die, that energy cannot be destroyed or changed. So it basically
Okay.
becomes everything.
Okay. Okay, I agree with that.
Okay. I'm glad we got on the same page about all this. So you do believe in gay souls and reincarnation and ghosts
I guess I do now.
and energy.
Well, that's the thing. I've always did. That's the thing. You didn't disprove or prove anything. I've always.
I wasn't trying to disprove. You thought I was.
Yeah, but you kind of were.
No, I wasn't trying to disprove.
Souls and energy.
No, I didn't disprove those. I wasn't trying to disprove. I was trying to understand what they fucking were, because we were confused.
Confusing.
We were very confused.
So did we figure it out?
A soul is bullshit,
Soul
and energy is the actual
soul
thing that
and
you-
energy are two different things.
And energy is the thing that
The
cannot be
energy-
destroyed when you die.
Your energy in your body,
Essentially.
whether it's atoms or protons or neutrons, that shit stays in the universe. That shit stays on the earth. and does what it needs to do, whether it goes into the ground for mulch, whether you get fucking incinerated and you turn into carbon dioxide in the air and you power trees that way or something.
Yep.
All that shit, your atoms, your energy stays on the earth. Your soul also probably stays on the earth because there's no other planets for your soul to travel to that we know of. But your soul could possibly travel to a new, like you said, your soul would forget all of those experiences and all those memories that you'd have. Like if I were to, if we're talking like this, then if I were to die tomorrow, my soul would still have like, my good-hearted nature, but I wouldn't, like, the next person I'm in wouldn't remember who the fuck Lonnie is. I wouldn't remember my past life.
Okay, give me 1 second.
I would just remember my soul would just still be the same good-hearted soul that I have now, right? Is that how you mean? And I guess reincarnation.
Yeah.
I hope reincarnation works that way,
I would hope so too. I don't necessarily know if I believe in.
I don't know if I necessarily believe in it, but if I could believe in anything, if I could believe in anything, full-hearted, 100% faith, reincarnation's a pretty good one to go with because you get to come back.
Okay, on all these points, are switching topics, I guess.
One more time.
Switching topics before we end the pod. A great movie I just watched last night, and I wanted to talk about not the movie or movies in general, but I wanted to talk about the person and the historicness of it.
What movie?
300, Leonidas.
King of Sparta.
Fucking great movie. Can we?
Gerard Butler, correct?
I don't know the actor, but you're probably right.
Leonidas.
So
he's a badass dude, Gerard Butler, man.
But the actual events of the 300 Spartan soldiers that actually, did you know that the 300 Spartan soldiers killed 20,000 invading Persians?
Yeah, bro, that shit's real.
That's insane.
Real.
Now, I want to ask you a question, get your topic about that. Sorry to cut you off, man. In my opinion, I am starting to see the other side of it and start to believe the other side of it. But in my opinion, for most of my life up to this point, I've believed that not one person can truly change the world or change. I guess that's broad. I guess not one person can have a severely significant impact on things.
Nobody
in reality.
Nobody does it alone. For all you fucking people out there, you think Bill Gates didn't have help. You think Steve Jobs didn't have help.
True.
You think Jeff Bezos didn't have help. All these people had help in one way or another. They did not fucking grind all the hours on their own. They did grind hours on their own, 100%, but they definitely received help at one point or another. Someone took a chance on them. Someone believed in them. Someone helped them, no matter how small it might have been. Nobody gets through life without receiving a little bit of help.
Correct. But I was also thinking about like these amazing like figures in history. For example, like a Leonidas or an Alexander the Great, Genghis Khan, Napoleon, whatever the case may be. It is quite crazy because, and I think Mike Tyson actually talked about this on Joe Rogan's podcast because he studied a lot of conquerors, and he said that one thing that a lot of these amazing people have in common is their willingness to accept death. And it's kind of crazy because it's very true, like for that in essence. But what I was kind of getting at with one person can't change the world, I'm starting to, as I kind of go back and read about these conquerors and these like amazing historical figures, is they really can. Like, for example, Leonidas, wasn't supposed to take those 300 soldiers and go off and do it and stand up to a 20,000, force army that was coming his way. He wasn't supposed to. Like, he didn't even get permission from like the council that was governing Sparta at the time or whatever the case may be, but he just went and did it because he knew it was going to inspire inspire the people of Sparta to protect their freedom and not become enslaved and just take the easy way out, which was just let's let the big guys step on us and let it roll like that. I think that's one of the earliest forms of like true freedom is like that, which is like Spartans, 300 people standing up, all fucking dying.
They didn't do it by themselves.
Right.
They had 300
Yeah,
guys.
there's 300 people. But that is kind of what's crazy is like
Leonidas
one person
helped lead the charge.
He helped lead the charge, but I feel like this is kind of also what I'm getting at. Like, and then for example, like Alexander the Great. One person, if they are truly special, if they are truly, you could say great, but I feel like it goes much, 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 much deeper than that.
Real leaders.
Yes, they can truly move the world.
Yeah.
Like Alexander conquering much of the known world at the time, conquering much of Asia, going into Egypt, going past barriers that he never went past.
Alexander was not the only person that thought he was great.
Right.
Everybody thought Alexander was great, and that's why he was the great.
Well, but you know what's crazy is like...
one person does have the ability to change the world, but still not alone. One person has the ability to change the world, but nobody can change the world alone.
But isn't it crazy that
Quote.
one person... He's got these in the bag, dude.
Honeybees.
No, but it's kind of crazy when you think about. I always think it interesting, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a very sensitive and crazy topic that I'm going to bring up.
Let's get into it.
But I'll try my best.
I'll allow it.
I'll try my best to eloquently state this and not overstep any boundaries.
Get it on.
So, for example, Alexander the Great, right? History looks back on him and sees him as a very favorable, great speaker, great leader. A lot of people, conquering the well-known world. It's almost kind of like a comedic thing comparing him to someone like Hitler, right? It's very interesting because
they have, as terrible as it might possibly sound, they have similar qualities.
They do. And you know what's crazy about this? So
if you can get a whole country to back you up and also hate a group of people,
it's kind of
you must be doing. I mean, you're fucking.
Yeah, dude.
You're a pretty good speaker. I'll just say that.
But isn't it weird? Like
you're pretty convincing.
Because, for example, like Alexander, like and at the time, I will give this. This is the distinct difference. Obviously, Hitler was an evil person, I believe, but he wanted to attack he wanted genocide on a specific people, which obviously is very, self-righteous and
Terrible.
Fucking
it's atrocious.
Gross.
It's an atrocity.
But it's crazy because history will look at someone like Alexander and nickname him the
Great.
The Great.
Because he conquered everybody, not just one
person.
Yeah, he didn't conquer one group, he conquered everybody.
Which is quite crazy. And I get that, at the time, like Persians and Asia and all that was like Philip the Macedonian, which is Alexander's dad.
His father, Phil,
was trying to do the same, essentially, was going against Asia and whatnot, and was going to go on a expedition into Asia until he was killed.
Do you think?
And then Alexander went and took his place. But
do you think anybody ever called Philip Phil?
At the time, no. They probably
Do you
got
think
the
they
head.
ever called Alexander Alex?
And
hey, King Alex, my boy. Hey, Phil.
At
you
that
still
time,
need me to get those slaves in?
At that time, I don't think they abbreviated anything.
Philip
III of
Macedonia.
Yeah, seriously.
That's how you have to address him every time.
And this is the distinct difference.
Of course, Philip III of Macedonia.
This is the distinct difference. Is at the time of like Alexander, and the reason we praise him for conquering much of the known world, even though that ideology of in a book I'm reading now, Alexander pretty much thought that he was a god, that because at the time they believed in Zeus, Hercules, and the Greek mythology.
He's a little self-centered then.
Well, he had a god complex, but at the time you didn't because our brains have evolved and society's evolved in such a way. At the time, you can't really knock him because everybody was in that way of thinking.
Did he ever say like he was better than Zeus or anything like that?
I don't know actually. I haven't got to that point, but I think that because he thought that he was like his mother got impregnated by some sort of Greek god, maybe Zeus, but I'm not exactly sure.
Oh, he thought he was a demigod.
Yeah, no, he thought that he was literally a god.
Of course he did.
But at the time, it's kind of crazy.
Come on, Alexander. I thought you were better than this.
But isn't it crazy that at the time, I mean, you conquer things that nobody else has conquered. You lead.
That's like Alexander the Great back in the day is a lot like LeBron's 3-1 run in Cleveland against Golden State.
He's a god. Well, he is a god, though. Don't compare those two, because LeBron is Jesus.
Is a god.
He's Jesus.
Has he taken over the mantle of basketball Jesus?
Dude, he is basketball Jesus, dude.
Or is he basketball God?
I mean, dog, come on. When LeBron retires...
Jordan's basketball Jesus, but LeBron is basketball God.
That's right.
And then Larry Bird's basketball...
I don't know. I just thought that was such
like Archangel Michael.
He's like Virgin Mary.
No, come on.
Everyone knows him, and he's an important guy. What the fuck?
That's fucked up.
No, that's true.
No. He can't be one of the cool angels in heaven.
I don't know who the fuck you just said. I know who Virgin Mary is. A lot of people know who that is. I don't think a lot of people know who
Archangel Michael or something.
Or something. See, he doesn't even fucking.
Have you seen the angels?
Wasn't the Virgin Mary? Didn't God impregnate her? LeBron has to fuck Larry Bird.
Can you believe this bitch, Mary? She fucking pulled the wool
Such a
right
slut.
over that. Who was the father?
Wasn't it Jesus or God?
Well, no, because so.
But
yeah,
it was
God.
But it was some,
God, all
it
right.
was some fucking peasant
So, but Jesus was born from Mary.
looking for some gold.
Mary and Joseph, right?
Found
So
his way in that fucking coochie.
So Joseph was like, Mary, we didn't even have sex yet. We haven't copulated. And then Mary's like, it's God's baby.
Dude, she's actually
This
low-key smart.
This is God's.
She's low-key
We've
smart.
been blessed, honey. This is God's baby.
She's low-key smart.
We're gonna name him Jesus.
Low-key smart.
He said, "Well, I guess I believe you."
And he praised her. The Virgin Mary.
Oh.
Pussy's never been touched, but she's pregnant. Like,
And
what?
then some fucking
Peasant out there.
some
just,
peasant, literally named fucking Frank, was
Yeah.
like, "Oh my god,
Like, shit. Like,
that was
they
just a
really
one
believe
night."
that?
He's like, "That was just a one night stand."
He's like, I was so fucked up.
He said, "My kid is Jesus,"
He had a lot of post-nut clarity.
and it all wraps back in.
And it all wraps back in, dog.
Well, there you have it.
I think that's actually.
I think that's a great way to. Yeah, I think
end
that's a
it
great way to
on
end it. It
post-nut
all wraps.
clarity and
it all
and the
wraps-
Virgin.
It all wraps back together.
So hold on, let's get this straight. Post-nut clarity,
Subconscious and consciousness.
subconscious consciousness,
Soul.
soul. One person can change the world, but
One
with help.
person can change the world.
And
Leonidas, Alexander the Great,
and then post-nut clarity. No, and then the Virgin Mary.
Virgin
and then
Mary,
to end with post-nut clarity again.
post-nut clarity all the way back again. I mean, that's a full.
mean-
I mean, you talk about the circle of life.
What the fuck else are you guys gonna get out of any other podcast besides what we just gave to you?
You're not getting that anywhere else. I mean, that's
You're
a
not
guarantee.
getting this anywhere else.
That's a
dude.
guarantee. We're the
That's a fucking.
we're the
guarantee.
shittiest podcast for a reason, and don't you fuckers
Motherfucker.
forget it.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
But seriously, thank
Thank
you
you.
guys so much for watching. Go ahead.
Please like, comment, subscribe, all that beautiful stuff. It helps us out so much. It lets us know you guys enjoy the content. Let us know in the comments if you liked this episode. If you're still watching now, comment 40s and shorties, bitch.
That's
Comment-
right, baby.
Comment 40s and shorties, baby, because that is a dope shirt.
And we will see you guys next time.
Peace.
Peace.